And we are live. So what's going on, folks? Welcome to another episode. This is what episode? What number? What number is
8.
this? Ace? This is
We
8.
on 8 already, 2 months in.
We are on episode 8 already of the Running Gun podcast. This has been exciting and everything such as that. We got a great show for y'all tonight. We got a little bit of, we got a team that hasn't even won a game yet in the SWAC. We got one team has probably the best defense in the FCS. We got, my gosh, what else we got, Ace? Fill them in.
We got Jackson State just rolling, and we got FAMU rolling. Both of them just going off easy victories this weekend.
Yep. Yeah. And I'm going to say something regarding that. We got a coach that really, is a fallen star, I guess you can kind of say.
Nah, he went supernova. He's gone. Or he got sucked into the black hole.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
And considering that he used to coach in the black hole or whatever they called it, yeah, he's definitely gone into the black hole. Adios. We'll talk about that later on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Most definitely. And else, too, we got a couple upsets that happened in college football. We have an upset that happened in Major League Baseball. You didn't see that coming, but it happened. Geez, we got a little bit of everything. We got one team is actually starting to make a believer out of us slowly but surely.
Yeah. We had a crazy 24 hours on Monday night to Tuesday. That's some crazy 24 hours. Everything was popping off at the same time.
It really has been. It really has been. But, folks, y'all sit back, y'all relax. The intro's next. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We got a good one for y'all. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is JP.
This is the Buzz.
This is JC.
This is Flash. This is Jimi Hendrix.
And you're listening to
the Run and Gun podcast.
Here we are, right away into the first quarter. We are off and running, and as you know, right away we got to talk about a couple things. And I'm gonna give them a shout out. Actually, shout out to FAMU women's volleyball, because right now they don't get the amount of attention that it should, because it is football season, and football, especially here in the South, is very prevalent and popular. But credit is due to them. 5 straight shutouts, probably more now that we're recording. They probably had another shutout here recently, but kudos to them. But let's dive right into this. So how you feeling about the game this weekend with FAMU and Alabama A&M?
Oh, you mean this weekend coming out, the last one we just saw? Oh yeah, I think FAMU.
You know what? Give me both. Give me both.
Well, I think that defense it's getting itself clicking. You had what's the guy named Savion Williams? I think his name, right?
Yeah.
The transfer. He had a sack, I think, right? He had a couple clips up on Twitter I was watching. He looked pretty good. I mean, they have a bunch of former Power 5 players transferred in. They just balling out. The offense finally getting its groove since the USF game, and I think it's gonna be a good one with Alabama A&M they're playing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I think I got FAMU in that one for our predictions coming out.
Right. Yeah.
I think they're gonna keep their momentum going.
This is actually FAMU's first time leaving the state this season.
I really don't put too much stock in like a team leaving, because I mean they're going to Alabama, but it's like they're like right in Tallahassee. It's not too far.
That's true. But it amazes the thing that amazes me about it, and I'm kind of with you because I mean, look, you should be able in football, you know, it's a Warriors mindset. You should be able to go on the road and go to anybody's house and win. But I mean, I look at it and I'm just like, Jesus, like, geez, we're like almost halfway through October, and you mean to tell me you haven't played a game out of the state of Florida yet? Like that's impressive.
I mean, that's not their fault. That's just scheduling in general. But
that's true. I mean, it's being strategically correct, and rightfully so. Now, as far as last week goes, you finally had a 100-yard rusher in Bishop Bonnet, and that was very impressive in itself. Also, too, make sure you guys leave a comment if you were watching this down below. But I mean, look, I came away very impressed. A lot of people, there were some people out there that said, you know, the score would be like 50-10. And I was like, nah, let me be more realistic. It's going to probably be like a 34-10 type of game, to be honest with you. But they called me a madman.
I mean, you had Isaiah Land. He got, 5 sacks, I think, right?
5 sacks. He's now got 10.
That's crazy.
And he still has a long season left to go. And the FAMU record is, I believe, 20 sacks in a game. I think the NCAA record is 22, set by Terrell Suggs at 22.5. So, yeah, I see the look on your face. I see the look on your face.
22 in a game?
22.5 in a season.
Oh, in a season. I thought you meant like in a single game he had 22 sacks. I was like, no. That's like every pass drop back he's getting a sack.
Terrell Suggs had 22.5 in a season.
In a season. That makes more sense. I'm like, hold up, because I'm like,
Isaiah Land gets that many sacks in one season, he better get drafted. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, you already have one on your defense, a lock, I think, to get drafted in the safety. But yeah, I mean, if you get 2, my bad. But if you get like a guy getting over 20 sacks in a season, I mean, I don't care what your competition is or whatever, but that's still impressive. And that shows you have good technique to get to the passer consistently.
Very, very much so. The other thing too was the rivals down I-4 and my next door neighbors, unfortunately. Bethune-Cookman, actually, they lost a shocker to Mississippi Valley for their homecoming. Mississippi Valley stormed the field and everything here in Daytona. It was pretty bad. Bethune has not won a game yet, and they're staring at what might be the best team in the SWAC West in Prairie View A&M. If I wasn't so I'd go.
You got to feel bad for the guys in Daytona, but, I mean, most of the people I've known from coming out of Daytona, well, I mean, they're not very nice people, but, I mean, for Bethune-Cookman, I mean, they're totally different type of people, but, like, it's going to be, you got to feel bad for them when they're going to get Prairie View coming in. It's going to be worse than what Pine Bluff got.
It's going to be a lot worse because and then the thing about it too is like, you know, I never try to say, you know, Texas kids have this versus Florida kids, but Prairie View is big. I know you've seen them play and I've seen them play. Prairie View's big. They're athletic. They know how to stretch the field. Coach Dooley's doing a pretty good job, an amazing job, honestly. Like, if you are not on your P's and Q's, Prairie View can beat you. They are a very talented team. So, I mean, I got Prairie View in that one by a landslide.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing, too, was also this. You got a game right finally with Alcorn.
Yes, I was so happy when I saw it. I'm like, I had it in the draft because, like, the drafts on Twitter, I was like, I saw that game getting close toward the end. I was like, they better not be blowing this for me. And I was like,
right. That's what I was thinking too, because
I was like, please just win it.
It was 21-6 at one point, and then they let it get down to 24-20 at the end. And I'm just like,
that's what I'm saying. I was watching on Google the score going, and I'm like, I said 24-6. I'm like, all right, we good. Then I go back after I finish one of my homework assignments. I'm like, wait, what? What's going on here?
It happens, man. It happens. I'm telling you, there's so much parity in this conference. Like it's unreal. The other thing too that I wanted to talk about the basically the game of the week in the SWAC, if you ask me, because a lot of these other games aren't that impressive for this week. To be honest, I think Jackson State's going to roll Alabama State, but this RAC boys versus the Outlaws matchup, FAMU's wide receivers against Alabama A&M's wide receivers this coming weekend. This is going to be interesting. Akil Glass against FAMU's Dark Clouds defense. And Akil Glass is really, honestly, probably the best quarterback, even though he looked like chopped liver against Jackson State last week on homecoming. But this is probably the best quarterback FAMU will see all season, aside from Shedeur Sanders.
I mean, most of the time, if you got a good pass rush, like what I've been seeing at a FAMU, I mean, it's not. I mean, you can tone down the impact that a quarterback can have single-handedly on a game. Like even in the NFL, if you have a good pass rush, you get to Brady all the time.
Oh yeah,
and that affects even on the highest level. So I mean, you got Isaiah Wayne, you got Savion Williams, you got a bunch of dogs on that side. They coming for you every play. I mean, I think they got it.
And don't even rule out Deontay Williams, who was the Baylor transfer either, who he's worked into that rotation. But dude, like I mean, if they can get to Akil Glass and create pressure and knock him off his spot where he wants to be constantly throughout the game, I think they have a chance to win. And then, you know, a lot of the Alabama A&M receivers, because I made a post saying Xavier Smith was the best wide receiver in TCU football. And honestly, he's still doing pretty good. He's holding up against some pretty good defenses, or some pretty decent defenses statistically outside of South Carolina State. And honestly, after what I saw occur, that bludgeoning, I'm going to call it, in Huntsville, I still hold true to my words. I am not that impressed by the Outlaws. I'm really not. And I kind of hope Coach Maynard runs his mouth off again, because when he did it last week, that was probably
just fire up the boys on the other side.
Look, that would, you know what? Let me not raise my voice. That was.
I mean, I told you this I told you last episode.
Look, man.
I told you this last episode. Dion just got to put it up on them.
And Dion didn't say anything. He didn't say, he said, look, I'm gonna keep my mouth quiet. We're gonna talk on the field. And then the thing about it that I didn't know was this was a full out like you see how we are right now. Imagine 10 other people in this group thing right here. It was like a whole like teams meeting. He said this with other SWAC coaches there, and then you had
Alabama Maynard, right? Talking about Alabama and Maynard. Yeah.
Yes. And that was, look, I'm gonna just say it like this. That was the most boneheaded thing you could have ever done. That was so boneheaded. I don't know. Look, I understand there's a lot of trash talk in the SWAC, but my God, people, you need to know when to keep your mouth shut and when to run your mouth. It's one thing to look, like Jackson State said, football is played when? In the fall. One of their coaches, we didn't put all of our guys out there because we wanted to gauge where we were at versus a lot of these other teams. He wrote a check that his ass couldn't cash. He really didn't.
I mean, once he said that, you could see it from a mile away that bludgeoning is what you said, right?
Yes, bludgeoning.
I think that's what you said, right? Yeah. You can see that bludgeoning coming from at least from the horizon. Not even a mile away. I saw it 12 miles.
Yes. And I'm going to revert back to what I said. I'm going to revert back to what I said on Twitter. The two best teams in the SWAC East, hell, maybe even the SWAC as a whole, played Labor Day weekend. And it sucks, but it's awesome at the same time. I'm going to stand firmly by that statement until someone beats either FAMU or Jackson State. I'm going to stand by that. And I'm sure a lot of folks in Jackson, Mississippi and Tallahassee, Florida can agree with me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, Prairie View's in the West, right?
Yes. That's
Yeah.
the only one that I think.
Like in the SWAC overall, it's going to be them three at the top.
Oh, yes.
But in the East, yeah, Labor Day in Miami. Yeah, you saw potentially that whole division championship.
Yes. Oh, yes. And that takes us down to the NFL. So
which one you want to start on?
You know what? You know which one I want to start on.
All right, let's get it. Let's start about the team behind your back right there.
Oh, no, not that. I want to talk about
the kicking out.
The kicking,
yeah, I'm talking about the kicking out. Let's talk about that.
Yes, please.
The black hole.
Yeah, the black hole, and he got sucked in, and he ain't coming back anytime soon. Someone like they posted it as a question. Where would John Gruden be a coach next, or where would he land next?
Nowhere.
You know what? I said the same thing. And look, if ESPN, NBC, CBS, PBS, TBS, CNN, Fox News, all of them, CNBC, if all of them are smart, they won't hire him either.
I don't know. I can guarantee none of the NBCs are gonna hire him, and I'm not sold on what the hell Fox does, because Fox is kind of weird, and I'm not getting into that whole dimension of that whole thing. But I don't think he's definitely not getting a coaching job ever again. He's done. But it's kind of crazy, like Thursday you would have never swore this shit would have came out, mind my language, but then it was so funny because what he did was so wrong, but it would have went unnoticed if they weren't investigating Washington, but like at the start, because that's where they found the first set of emails from Gruden, is when they were investigating Washington, and they were going through Bruce Allen's emails.
Mm-hmm.
So if they weren't investigating Washington for being a dumb show and a pathetic organization as they already are, you would have never saw this kind of, I want to say like mentality, but I'm trying to think of the word here, but it's like that kind of not stigma, but like what the personality is, because I'm sure there's a lot of them in the NFL like that, and they just aren't they haven't looked into it yet, to say the least.
I agree. And it also reverts back to what Keyshawn said a few days.
Keyshawn knew. Keyshawn knew.
Keyshawn was right, honestly, because I mean, look, a lot of people back then said Keyshawn was selfish, and Warren Sapp has his opinions. That I think he keeps to himself, which I think, honestly, Warren Sapp was still right about Keyshawn too, because that whole thing started before Gruden even got there between those two. But I can tell you the truth, John Lynch and Warren Sapp should have retired as Bucks. John Gruden is the one that shipped off Warren Sapp to Oakland. John Gruden is the one that cut John Lynch. So, I mean, look, John Gruden broke up a heck of a team that was not his.
Yes. I mean, in my house, like, my dad, he used to know the Bucks good time back then, right? And he always, him and my mom even knew this shit. And she doesn't watch much football, but she's like, oh, that was Gruden's team from the get-go. Like, when she saw Gruden won, she's like, nah, this was Dungy's team from the get-go. Yeah. I think I said Gruden's team, my bad. I'm good. You know what I meant. It's always been Dungy, and now people are starting to say it because, like, on like the TV shows, right? Like First Take and Undisputed and all them, they never used to say it was Dungy's team, and now all of a sudden, Keyshawn's always been saying it was Dungy's team, right? That won the Super Bowl, but a lot of them weren't ever saying that until this stuff. Now they're saying it, and I'm like, shit.
Because look, see, you gotta recognize it. A lot of them have no clue. A lot of those people, they were beat writers for whatever town they were in at the time, or they were just on the come up at ESPN. So they really didn't know. And the thing about it is like and I say this all the time, if you're not from here, you don't really know what went on. Because honestly, that like I told a friend, I told one of my professors about what went down, about what Michael Clayton had said. There was a time where John Gruden had checked Allstott and Brooks, two leaders that had been on that team longer than he was even the head coach. He checked them in front of the whole locker room, which is something you don't do unless they really, really screw up. But those two guys never really screw up. They were perfect teammates. They were the perfect examples for the community, everything. So, I mean, it was messed up, man. It was messed up.
JPeeps, let me ask you this one question. I can't remember this, but wasn't Khalil Mack traded right after Gruden became head coach, or was it the year before he got traded?
Oh my goodness! I think this was like,
I can't.
After he became the head coach.
I'm like, when we were talking about shipping out Sapp and cutting Lynch and Keyshawn, all of them right in Tampa, it just made me think about Khalil Mack and that whole situation that happened. I can't remember if Khalil Mack got traded before or after he became the head coach, because it was right in that same span. Because I think Mack showed up the second year Trubisky was quarterback. That's what it was, and they went to the playoffs. Remember?
So let me.
And that was the double doink year. It was Mack's first year.
So and then John Gruden's first year in Oakland was 2018.
I think so. Yeah, it's 2018. I think it's the same season.
Yep. So okay. So I'm gonna read this off for you. On September 1st, 2018, following Khalil Mack's holdout the entire preseason, the Raiders traded him a 2020 second round pick, which ended up turning out to be Cole Kmet, and a conditional 5th round draft pick in 2020. The condition failed, turned into a 2020 7th round pick, Arlington Hambright, to the Chicago Bears. So yeah, that
was Damon Arnett and somebody else. Is what the first round picks turned out to. Josh Jacobs, and I know it was Josh Jacobs because that was a late pick because the Bears were in the playoffs.
Yes, that's true. So,
and that was right after Gruden took over. So yeah, I don't want to say it's connected, but he did the same thing he did with the Raiders, what he did with the Bucks, essentially.
Exactly. Yeah, and
he couldn't deal with them enough.
Khalil Mack was loved by the fans in Oakland. He was loved, and it was kind of head scratching to me too. And then the same thing goes with Marquette King. He said he didn't like his personality.
Marquette King was a hell of a punter. I don't know what people are saying. Like He was so fun. You don't see a lot of lefty punters, and then this guy, he was fun to watch. I think he had a couple fakes too, and he had one where he ran for like a long. I don't know if it was a touchdown, but it was a long fake punt he had one time. That was fun.
Yeah. See, exactly. Like, come on, you didn't like his personality. Get out of here.
That was the same nonsense with Montreal saying they couldn't take PK Subban.
It's messed up, man.
Yeah.
I do pose this question right here.
Technically, Urban Meyer's. So, I mean, let me say this. Since Gruden technically resigned, I mean, if you put bets for Urban Meyer to be the first head coach fired, you're not done. Because he technically could still be the first head coach fired. He is going to probably be. He probably is going to be.
He probably could. I'm telling you now, look, I just want to see one record fall, and you know what it is. You know exactly what
the Bucks one with the most losses.
The Bucks 26 record.
They're at 0-20, so they need to lose 6 more.
They need to lose 7 more.
7 more.
After that, I don't care what the Jaguars do with Urban Meyer. I really don't. I don't care. Fire him, keep him. I don't care. Because for one, I mean, heck, it's not my team. For two, I mean, honestly, deep down, for the sake of the city of Jacksonville, get rid of him. Because this is not it. I didn't think that there was going to ever be someone worse than Steve Spurrier coaching in the NFL, and by God, Jacksonville found it. It only took 19 years, but Jacksonville found someone worse than Steve Spurrier in the NFL.
I mean, they play Miami this week, and then they play the Jets. When did they play the Jets? Well, the Jets are bad themselves, so I don't know. But
the Jets
the Jets have more talent anyway. The Jets have more talent.
Exactly. And the Jets can pull it out, especially
The
if that
Jets,
game.
I think, are gonna beat them. But if that's that's probably the only game I can see them ever winning this season.
Oh yeah,
because they're both pathetic.
I love the way you say that. They're both pathetic. But also too, one more thing we got to hit on is this right here. What do you make of the current state of the Chiefs?
Oh, they're gonna have a trade coming.
But who?
I don't know, but it can be somebody for defense.
That makes
or
sense.
an offensive lineman.
Honestly,
I think it's most likely going to be defense.
I look at the shots of Tyrann Mathieu going like this, and every time Sorensen gets beat, and you can't help but think it might be Sorensen.
I mean, let me think. I gotta go through who I'm thinking here, but I'm trying to think if there's any safeties out there who are kind of upset right now. And I mean, you can go take a look at not Jordan Whitehead. Who's his backup? Edwards.
Mike Edwards.
Mike Edwards. I don't know if Buck's gonna give up him, and the Bucks ain't trading with the Chiefs probably. I'm trying to think of a team that's got like a solid, like they have two good safeties on their team. But it's got to be either a safety or a corner. Or their linebackers are solid. Bolton and the guy they got, I think, is Mississippi State. They drafted him from.
Honestly, hey, I would say this: if they need to really draft a safety, they need to draft Marquise Bell out of FAMU. That's what the Chiefs should do. And it's kind of ironic. That's how that's how this all connects.
Full show connects.
You got a 6'3" safety that can play in the box like a linebacker and will hit people. And
well, when you think about it, the Chiefs don't need that kind of boxing safety. They need one that can cover because Tyrann Mathieu generally does the boxing work.
He could play the deep ball too.
I mean, he's a good playmaker. So I mean, yeah. Actually, you know what? When he's thinking about it, yeah. I remember the Baltimore game. He had the 2 picks. I keep forgetting Tyrann can also do playmaking in the back.
Exactly. I mean, look, imagine someone like Marquise Bell learning from Tyrann Mathieu. And Tyrann Mathieu looks like he's already sick of Sorensen anyway. So, I mean, hey. Make it happen. No, do I think?
You have to wait till the off season to do that. But I'm talking like in season, they're going to have to make a trade.
Oh, yeah.
There's no questions. The issue isn't so much on the offense. The issues are on that defense.
That's true.
Well, I mean, and also Patrick Mahomes' decision making right now.
The league
because he's got twice the amount of interceptions Jameis Winston has.
The league is starting to figure out the Chiefs, and it all started with Super Bowl 55.
And it's kind of funny because all them talking heads said that the league was going to figure out Lamar, like that. They haven't. Lamar figured out how to throw it. Lamar figured out how to be deadly throwing the football.
Look,
and he killing them.
The league couldn't even stop Michael Vick. And when I see Lamar Jackson, I see Michael Vick. So that answers that question.
Lamar got the arm talent of Vick, but he's more talented, I feel. I don't know. I never got to see Vick essentially play in his peak days in Atlanta, but like just watching Lamar move around and running is just different, I feel, than Vick. Vick was more, he's going to knock you down while juking you out. Lamar just feel like he's going to juke you out and make you go a mile away.
I'll say this. Lamar, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I do feel as though Lamar has more of a never say die attitude with him than Michael Vick did. Like, when the Falcons played, I feel, especially because, I mean, I used to always watch the Falcons-Bucks games back then. You always knew Michael Vick was going to get beaten up by Sapp and Brooks and Simeon Rice. Like, he always, like, those were his worst games. And, I mean, but of course, too, Michael Vick has a comeback playoff victory to his ledger at Lambeau Field. But I will say this, Lamar gets down by deficits never seen before, and he rallies.
I mean, I mean, I didn't expect the Colts to look as good as they did, and they give me a little bit hope in that AFC South that they can make the playoffs because, to be honest, the Titans don't look good. Their secondary is atrocious. Like, it's bad. And A.J. Brown and Julio haven't done crap this season. Like, Derrick Henry is carrying them as much as he can carry them. But, like, Indianapolis, they got a shot to come back on the Titans this season. But with the Ravens, they're going to beat Cincinnati when they play, probably. I think they will. I'm not entirely sure because their secondary is as banged up as it can be. But, like, I don't know how Jamar Chase is going to kill him, but it's going to be – that was going to be a fun one, but Cleveland's going to be a wild card probably.
True. Most likely. But, you know, let's shift gears here now to the college football. So what happened this weekend? A lot
Everything.
happened. It was an interesting weekend for the NFL, and it was a very interesting weekend for college football. And it all started in Dallas, Texas, at the Cotton Bowl. Texas State Fair, which, by the way, honestly, I don't know if you saw it, but I saw it. I just want to talk about this before we actually jump into this. Did you see the size of those turkey legs at the Texas State Fair? Dude,
I saw the fair behind the stadium, but I didn't see the actual turkey legs.
Dude, I can tell you now, I've had turkey legs from Thanksgiving, and I've had turkey legs at Disney World. Those turkey legs at Disney World and at Thanksgiving dinner, and even at the Florida State Fair, they ain't got nothing on the Texas State Fair turkey legs. Those
Well, it's Texas. Everything's bigger.
huge.
I mean, are they even turkeys?
It's a turkey that I don't know. Man, look, it might have been a dinosaur, to be honest with you. Who knows? But my God, that thing is huge. But outside of that, you know, outside of the food in Texas, which honestly I would love to try one day, Texas, they choked. After being
Yeah, they
that,
choked.
and I'm telling you now,
Well,
Caleb Williams,
let me ask you this though: is number 7 gonna enter the transfer portal? I say yes. He's got it.
honestly, if Spencer Rattler enters the transfer portal, apparently he's not even on the school's like academic website anymore. It's like one of the students that you can Google or look up and find anymore. So I guess that kind of speaks for itself. But I will say this: if Spencer Rattler transfers out, I would suggest, and again, this is my bias, for publicity and for the sake of, you know, just the stars aligning, he should transfer to Tallahassee, Florida. Spencer Rattler playing for the Florida A&M Rattlers.
Yes.
It's perfect for, you know,
Well, I don't know if his ego fits that kind of culture, that family you got going with them and how they play.
Honestly, that you're right, because I do agree, and honestly, and for the folks that are listening, I don't want to get that twisted and say, you know, he wouldn't fit in with the HBCU lifestyle, which that's not.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just talking like
I'm with
team culture, like how they play.
I'm with you. Yeah, I don't think that he would either, because that's a very close-knit locker room, and with a locker room like that, he would be policed right away. And he would be checked right away, I think, by the team leaders and by really the whole team, because it's probably going to be it would be one of those instances where it's like, look, are you in? Are you fully 100% in? Because it's a brotherhood here. Don't come in here screwing it up. I can't say the other word. Don't come here, you know.
Yeah.
Messing
I don't know.
up.
I just feel like he'll go to like a school in California. I don't know why.
You know, yeah, maybe like a USC
or UCLA. It's gonna be like I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't feel like he go to the East Coast. I don't know. Just
I can't see it either, because I mean, all those schools along the East Coast,
he'd get beaten up if he even touches like the SEC anyway. So
no, he's not.
He couldn't handle the SEC.
Not at all. Not.
So I mean, I don't know, but I can't see him like FAMU could use like a quarterback like him, but I don't know like his mentals match the mentals of the player. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. But the other thing too, Jimbo Fisher did something no other Saban assistant's been able to do, and kudos to him for that. And you know me, I always felt Jimbo would have stayed at Florida State about as long as Bowden did if he could have. And honestly, Florida State should have given him whatever he wanted. But Mike Norvell is doing a good job too right now. But I still believe, it's not that far-fetched. And they only slid down to 5th in the country. But is it possible that we have not seen the last of Alabama?
I mean, if the teams in the top 4 all lose, besides Georgia, then yes. But then at that point, you'd have to have, if Ohio State won out, then you'd have to have them even though they get beaten up once they got in. Because at this point, I don't see Cincinnati losing, and I don't see Georgia losing, which means those are 2 of the top 4 spots locked in. And that means there's going to be 2 spots open. And if Iowa loses the Big Ten championship,
which I don't think they will.
It depends on who they play, probably.
It does. They could probably end up going again. Honestly, if they play Michigan, I think they'd beat Michigan.
Yes, but if they play, I don't think they'd beat Ohio State. I don't know. Ohio State's got their issues, but their offense is still good. And they got at least QB depth if CJ Stroud went down. Because he went down and they still rolled over somebody last week or whatever.
I'm with you.
And that's what happened to Penn State was their QB went down and he was not prepared. The backup wasn't ready.
I'm with you there. See, my thing with that is this. Ohio State needs to make it through Ann Arbor. Although I as that game slowly approaches, my confidence in Michigan will go down and down. But Jim Harbaugh said beat Ohio State or die trying.
I want to see him beat Michigan State first.
I agree. I do agree.
I don't know. For some reason, I don't think they're going to beat them. But then again, they might. But I don't think they're going to beat Michigan State this year. I don't know. Michigan State looks like they got more.
I think that game is in Ann Arbor as well.
I don't know. That's gonna be telling. I don't know. Michigan State's look good this year. So.
It'll be very telling. But I will say this: the only way I see Alabama making the playoff is, and I still think a 1-loss Georgia gets in too.
Oh, Georgia's gonna get in no matter what.
Alabama
lost an unranked team.
See, Alabama needs to win out the rest of the way. They need to beat LSU. They need to beat Auburn.
They're going to beat LSU and they're going to beat Auburn.
I agree. Yeah,
LSU's got a lot of guys missing. Stingley's out for the year. Boot is out for the year, and another corner they have is out for the year already. Mm-hmm. And he's one of the top 5 players in the country.
So I think Alabama will win out and win the West. But if they can get past Georgia in the SEC championship, then I think you got to put 2 SEC teams in.
If they beat Georgia, then yes, I can see them in. But
and you know what's going to happen because what has ESPN been pumping recently? ESPN's been pumping the SEC. They've been pumping, the NFL recently. So as far as college football goes, the cash cow for ESPN is the SEC. Yes. And
they literally got Tim Tebow on every Friday.
Exactly. And not to mention the SEC network. So, look, if Alabama can win out and beat Georgia, I think it's hard to keep 2 teams from the SEC out. The SEC, for ratings purposes of the playoff, are going to get in.
It'll be kind of bogus, though, if Alabama beats Georgia, right? And Cincinnati wins out, and they kick Cincinnati out and put Alabama in.
They better put all 3 in. They better put
Yeah, but you
all-
know what I'm saying? Like, if they like have Iowa in, they got Georgia in, they got Alabama in. You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. I know what you're
And
saying.
like, if they put somebody else in over Cincinnati, I think that'd be good.
Oh
Just
yeah, that
bogus.
would be pretty messed up. And then, but one final thing too before we move on, I got to give credit where credit's due. Florida State took down North Carolina this weekend, convincingly. What? Hey, look, they only need
Doesn't
four
Jordan Travis was the quarterback, right? I think it was.
Mhm. And they only need 4 more wins to get to bowl eligibility. Mind you, they still got to play Boston College. They still got to play UMass next week. They have
They should beat UMass.
so that's 3 wins. They would need 3 more after that. They play, yeah. Oh
They
my
still have to
goodness.
play Miami, I think, and they got to play Florida.
They got to play Miami, Florida, Clemson. They got to play Boston College still. It's. I know.
They should have beat Syracuse. Wasn't it Syracuse, right? No, it was Jacksonville State. They beat
should've
Syracuse, right?
They should have beaten. They should have beaten
Notre
Louisville.
Dame. Well, they should have beaten Notre Dame too, but
They should have beat and they should have beaten Notre Dame. They get NC State as well.
yeah, they're not beating NC State.
So you got UMass.
After I saw NC State beat up Clemson, I'm not sure about FSU beating NC State.
I'm with you, honestly. Now, I will say this. That Miami game is going to be a toss-up.
Oh, yeah. Miami's looked bad, like really bad.
And De'Aaron King is out for the season. So
I'm not surprised.
it is a toss-up, America. I don't know what to expect there. We'll see what happens. And then the other thing, too, while we still have time, is Kentucky deserving of a New Year's Six bowl if they run the table after they play Georgia? Because I don't think they're going to beat Georgia.
Nah.
If
What do you think first? Let's go with you first.
Honestly, look, they're going to finish second in the SEC East, I think, with 1 loss.
Mm-hmm.
With 1 loss in the season. I think you got to put them in the Peach Bowl. Or no, the Peach Bowl
Not Peach.
is okay. No, the Peach Bowl is not a playoff site this year, is it? No, it's not. The Cotton Bowl and the Orange Bowl is. So I would say, yeah, you could send them to either to the Peach Bowl or the Sugar Bowl.
I mean, it depends on who's in. If there's any undefeated teams that take up all the spots, but I don't think there's enough of them. So they're probably going to get a 6th bowl.
I could see them in either the Peach Bowl or the Sugar Bowl, and I could see them maybe getting matched up with the ACC champion, whoever that may be, since the ACC is methodically taking themselves out. And
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, that may be NC State, Wake Forest, or Clemson if Clemson can claw back up.
No, it's probably going to be like Wake Forest. Wake Forest schedule is pretty good.
So would you watch that?
No.
Yeah, you would, because you wouldn't even be doing nothing else. You know you would watch that. Why you gotta watch the Cats, man. You gotta watch Big Blue Nation.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But I generally... I'll probably end up being cooking anyway, generally, like always on New Year's Day, so it's all right.
True. All right,
let's get into some hot topics.
Yes.
We have some thoughts on the team that should be in Tampa, but it's not in Tampa. I mean, it's like in the Tampa Bay area, but it should be in Tampa.
Ain't that the truth? So, look, hey, they blew it. They blew it. A lot of people say don't blame Stu for being a distraction, which honestly that is the truth. Players still got to go out there and execute. But
he was still a distraction.
He was, but I'll say this too. I think honestly, after game 1, I think the Rays kind of had too much confidence for game
I mean,
2.
it's still more or less a young team.
Yeah.
You got to remember, like, Arozarena and Franco are like first 3 years. Franco's a rookie, and Arozarena, I don't think, has been around for 3 seasons yet.
Yeah, see, so I mean, you got to give them time, but it's just like, and David Ortiz pointed it out. They were sitting there. They were too relaxed. They were, and mind you, he's biased because he played for the Red Sox, but I see what he was getting at. They were sitting down, like laughing, giggling, and
You want to
eating
know what this
popcorn.
game kind of reminded me of? Sorry to interrupt, but you know what this series reminded me of? It's the Lightning Columbus one in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
They finally clicked in the regular season, and they took up an early lead in game one. Game one, like the Lightning did in the first 2 periods. And then they got confident. They sat back, got punched them out game 2, and ain't know what the hell to do afterward.
Exactly, and ended up getting swept.
Yep.
I remember that vividly because oh my gosh, that was pitiful. So I mean, who knows?
They kind of looked more pitiful though last night, but that's a different conversation. That's only
out of the dark.
So give them a little.
Out of the darkness comes light. So I mean, we'll see what happens.
As long as the team is in Tampa, I'll be fine.
Yes, move the team to Tampa.
That's not a gimme.
Stop with all this Montreal talk, because honestly, Canada, and this is what I wanted to tell y'all last night. Look, the Montreal Expos played in Montreal, and then that eventually.
That's what they're called, the Expos.
Yeah, if for my old heads out there, y'all remember the Montreal Expos. That disbanded eventually, and they had a pretty interesting baseball stadium. But I mean, honestly, baseball outside of Toronto, I don't think can survive north of the border. I'm just saying. And then it's gonna have to be a dome when you go up there too, because Canada gets cold. It gets cold in Canada around this time, playoff time.
Yeah.
So that's my take of that. But
it's not even practical. You have to have the taxes in Canada are way higher than they are going to be in Tampa. So I mean, the players aren't going to be happy with that. Then you have to find 2 different places to live. The players definitely ain't going to be happy about that. Their families got to keep moving. Not going to be good about that. And the fans are going to be upset at you because they only get to watch it half the season in both cities.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So you piss off pretty much everybody except your pocketbook. And even the pocketbook doesn't make any sense because you have to pay the taxes in both countries as a team. So, I mean, whatever.
I agree with you. But also, too, so looking at the National League and the American League, so the Braves have already wrapped up.
The Brewers.
Yeah, the Braves did, I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, the Braves wrapped up the Brewers.
Yeah, so the Braves are headed to the National League Championship Series. They are still awaiting the winner of this Dodgers-Giants series.
That's tied up, I think, right?
Yeah, and I know you already said you're rooting for the Giants.
Yeah, we're rooting for Wonga. Most people in Tampa are.
Fair enough. That's fair. I guess I could root for the Giants. Although I'm realistic and I think the Dodgers are going to win, but I'll root for the Giants. In the American League, you got the Astros and you got the Red Sox. You got the hometown kid from Tampa, Lance McCullers Jr., who, he went to Jesuit.
Who cares? Anyway.
So mean.
Anywho.
So mean. But, so I mean, who do you like in that series with the Red Sox and the Astros?
I'm taking the Red Sox. I mean, I know they beat Tampa, but I mean, Flash was saying it yesterday. I mean, I'm just gonna go get some garbage cans. I don't know. That kind of got us. That kind of got most people rubbed off on the Astros anyway. So.
Fair enough.
But like you said, it's probably gonna be the Dodgers winning it all again. It won't
Honestly, yeah.
surprise me if it will. If it is.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, look, if this team wins the National League, I'm rooting for them to win the whole thing, and that's the Atlanta Braves. Because look, before the Rays became Tampa Bay's team, the Braves were Tampa's team.
And the Braves are in Florida too, right? They're spring training in Florida.
The Braves do spring training at Disney's Wild World of Sports.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I know somewhere in Florida. And the Orioles are south of us.
I think so. I'm not sure.
I'm not entirely sure. A lot of teams do their spring training in Tampa, in Florida. So
I know that they tied with the Diamondbacks for the worst record in baseball this season, which was kind of
were bad,
very bad.
But anyway,
it's funny because they spent more days in first place in the American League East than the Red Sox did.
I can't remember how they lost, but whatever.
I know. But it's time for our favorite part of the night, and that's the fantasy football stardom or sit-em.
Who you got on deck?
Who do I got on deck? Honestly, jeez.
You got it. You don't got it, do you?
I'm undefeated. I'm undefeated in my league. So I mean, if y'all want to know the way America, you need to follow me.
Yeah, I wonder who sets his lineup pretty much in the stardom sit-em every week.
Hey, and I'm getting away from mine. I'm gonna focus on someone else's. And if they're watching,
all right. I mean, I'm having the worst luck on Monday Night Football anyway. I've lost 2 consecutive weeks off of Monday Night Football comebacks. Austin Eckler and Lamar Jackson.
Wait, that was you? I thought that was Flash.
No, Flash had Mark Andrews come back. I had the Lamar Jackson come back on me this week. I mean, I would have smoked him anyway if Saquon didn't get hurt, but it's whatever.
You gotta hit that waiver wire, man.
There's nobody there. I got beat out for Javonte Williams and Darrell Williams, so
poor thing.
Oh well, let's hit this fantasy stardom instead of my here to pout. Let's go.
So, Aaron Rodgers against Chicago. How you feeling?
Is it a Lambeau or a Soldier Field? Because either one is starting with Rodgers anyway. Who the hell cares?
Soldier Field.
He always beats up the Bears. Doesn't matter.
Let's see here. Travis Kelce against the Washington football.
Start. Washington secondary is bad.
The Titans defense against Buffalo.
Nope. Not even touching that. They could be a free agent this week.
So, or would you rather have?
No, they shouldn't even be starting. Period. Any week. Titans defense is bad.
Would you rather put the Washington football team out there against the Chiefs?
I'd start hiding neither of them.
I agree with you. I'm with you there. Julio's questionable, but he might play. Julio against Buffalo.
No.
Dang.
I ain't starting Julio until I see him actually do stuff. Same thing with Allen Robinson.
You and Allen Robinson.
I fed up with Allen Robinson. I went and I got myself Calvin Ridley, another disappointing receiver. Mm-hmm. I went and I took the guy who had Dalvin Cook, and I had picked up Alexander Madison the week right when they said Cook was inactive. I picked up Madison. I flipped him over for Ridley.
I'm gonna say this: if you were in a fantasy league, do the right thing. He's on a bye week this week, but I guarantee you will not be sorry. Go get Cordell Patterson. You will get points at running back because he plays both running back and wide receiver.
Yep. And running backs are hard to find.
Exactly. That is the best steal of fantasy this season.
This year. Mm-hmm.
My gosh. I wish I had
Cooper Kupp, but he went best late round steal is Cooper Kupp.
He went late?
Yeah, he went 6th, 7th round, and he's wide receiver 1.
That's crazy. The fact that he went late is unreal. Let's do this one here. Devontae Smith against Tampa Bay.
Start him. I mean, if Jalen Hurts is getting the ball, like if the offensive line could protect him at least like a half a second, that ball's going to Devontae Smith because the Bucs secondary is bad right now.
I'm with you. Jalen Waddle against Jacksonville.
Start him. I traded Waddle too, but
Mike Gesicki against Jacksonville.
Start any Dolphin because Tua's back. I mean, not everyone, but like Waddle and Gesicki and Gaskin, I'd start them.
Fair statement.
Only those three.
Fair statement.
And I lost the script. Oh well.
It's all good. Folks, that's going to bring us to the end of this episode. We've reached the end.
This is the end.
We appreciate y'all for joining us tonight. If you haven't already, make sure you follow us on all of these social media platforms down there at the bottom line, scrolling across. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and tell a friend. Be a friend. Tell a friend.
Let them spread the word. Well, not the word, but you know what I mean.
Yes. Spread the word because the bird is the word. The bird is the word. But
I mean, yeah, make sure to check us Last Gives on Tuesdays, 8. Running Gun's always on Wednesday. You know how it is.
Yes. So make sure y'all screenshot that if you are not sure. Screenshot that right there, right now. And then also too, make sure you screenshot that too, because we just recorded this one. We just did this one tonight. So make sure you guys do what you need to do. Follow us on all the social media platforms. We got great content for you. All of it is gorgeous and wonderful. Some good news. We will be in Tallahassee for FAMU's homecoming, October 30th against Grambling. I'll be live Saturday breaking down FAMU and Alabama A&M. Get y'all ready for that one. That's basically it. We got 30 seconds. Ace, you got anything? 25 seconds.
No, not really. I mean, I have an exam actually apparently Halloween morning, so I don't know if I'm going anywhere. Yeah, they're kind of jerks in that class, but whatever. I ain't complaining, so I won't be there. But JPeeps is definitely going to be. Oh, JPeeps will definitely be in Tallahassee. So, yeah, we be good.
I'll make sure
He'll take good care of y'all.
I'm gonna bring you back some lemonade and some.
I love lemonade too. Yeah,
some lemonade and some fried tilapia. I'm gonna bring you back some.
I'll try that. I'll try some fried tilapia. I never pass up fried fish, so we're good.
See, exactly.
I ain't like Flash. Flash is kind of picky, but we good. Peace out, guys. Thank you, America.
Stay safe, stay blessed. We'll see you on the next episode.